Welcome to the Phoenix Prosperity Podcast, where wealth meets legacy. Join your host, Tim Fergestad, as we explore the journeys of Phoenix's finest to success and beyond.
Hello, this is Tim Fergestad. Thank you for joining us. I'm very pleased to have Shubham Kale with me here today. Shubham is a 17-year-old Paradise Valley senior high school student interested in business, computer science, and scientific research. With a background in computer science and photography, he founded a software startup called SnapSort to simplify the complexities of photo sorting. Welcome to the show, Shubham.
Nice. Happy to be on here.
Excellent. So, often I like to ask people about how they got to where they are, right? And the lessons they learned along the way. Why don't you go ahead and answer those from your younger perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the first 2 years of my high school, I was a basketball player at Paradise Valley High School.
Excellent.
And because of junior year and how busy it was, I decided to step away from the sport and try to focus on a few other initiatives that I was running. And since I obviously still wanted to be a part of the sport, I decided to take up sports photography. Sports photography, photographing basketball, volleyball, a bunch of different sports. And I realized that when you're taking 2,000, 3,000 photos every single game, it can be quite time consuming and complex to sort through all those photos and try to figure out which
For
ones
sure.
that are good enough to post and good enough to send athletes and all of that. So I kind of wanted to create a solution using my background in computer science, which I've taken a bunch of different comp sci classes at Paradise Valley High School. Um, so I kind of wanted to combine those two passions together and create something that can be helpful to not only photographers but also the general public. That way, they can use this to sort photos for any sort of event they have. So that kind of developed into a photo sorting platform, SnapSort. So um, I started it in January. That's when we started working on it. We initially conducted a quick survey to just really understand the need, if there was a need for my business, and there was a massive need. So we surveyed a bunch of people from my school and a few other photographers here and there, and we really understood that there are specific user input parameters, which is how my sorting platform functions, that are very in need. For example, one of the major ones that we saw that we can really make an impact for was sorting by resolution or sorting by blur. So kind of getting rid of or filtering out those very blurry images that you often take while in sports photography or in general. So, and now we're currently working on deploying, hopefully by early August. So we're kind of wrapping it up here, trying to deploy and kind of first send out our first beta version and then continue to build upon there. So hopefully we can get into the market by the end of the year. But yeah, I mean, it's been a really fun ride with my co-founders, Tame Dewangan, who's been a great help. So yeah, it's been a really fun ride so far, and I can't wait to see where we're able to take it.
Okay, excellent. Well, I wanted to ask you if you were working with anybody else. Sounds like you have a co-founder. Let's circle back to sort of your team and what got you I'm going to that in a second. Let's talk a little bit first about your computer science background. You said you took some classes at PV.
Yeah.
Was there anything else? Did you have any other background in computer science or programming?
Oh yeah, I mean I've done a few certifications in Python, which is what our application is based on. I mean, it's a Flask web application, and I've also done a few camps that my mom forced me to go to to kind of expose myself to the subject. But um, I think that's about it. I think really in the world of software development, it's kind of you just have to learn it yourself. You can't really, I mean, there's obviously YouTube tutorials and other courses that will help you out, but the way you learn in this field or in all fields, in my opinion, is you just have to get yourself out there and learn as much as you can and take help from other people.
And do, right? And start playing
Yeah,
with it
exactly.
yourself, right? Hands
Yeah.
on. Exactly. So, okay, so let's talk about your business plan, your team, all that stuff. It's all interesting. Is this your first business?
Yeah, it is. It's my first business.
Okay, so how did you start that business? Who did you reach out to? And tell us about your co-founder and how that all came about, please.
Absolutely. So I did an internship at a startup company, very similar to the one I currently have. It's the same Flask application. It's a very similar framework, and I got a lot of good experience. I entered at a startup company called Nerd Apply, which is a company that's able to help students with college applications. Founded by someone from my school who's currently at Dartmouth. His name's Cooper Wiseman. So he kind of guided me in that business process, and he gave me a lot of good experience about how to start my own business and how to what's the next steps and how you really run a business. So that was a really good experience to kind of first plant the seed of starting my own business and kind of taking it from there. And then one of my dad's very close friends is also a very, very successful business owner. His name's Rajiv Singh. So he helped out a lot in kind of understanding how I really run a business and kind of the initial steps. And also, he's been a huge help in kind of giving us other innovative solutions that can kind of help reduce the computational time it takes for a few different processes. So yeah, those two individuals have been very, very helpful in really starting my business. And now my co-founder, Tim Wong, he's also at Paradise Valley High School, in the same program. So how my high school works, it has three different strands: bioscience, engineering, and computer science. So both of us are in the computer science strand, and both of us are pretty good coders. So I kind of brought him on board. I've had experience with him, and he's also a co-founder of Seniors in Power and Technology. So which I think we'll touch base on later.
Sure.
So yeah, he's been a great help so far, and we've had a lot of fun. So it's been a great run.
Excellent. There's a lot there. So, did either of you have any like DECA experience or anything in that regard
So
for business
yeah.
training at all?
So actually no. So PV doesn't have a DECA chapter. I think there's a Pinnacle High School is a very, very big DECA chapter. If you heard of them, I live actually right next to Pinnacle High School. So yeah, I
Uh,
know I have a few friends at Pinnacle, and I know a lot about that.
okay, excellent. Well, what's been the most fun and the most difficult, both things, right? About the challenges of just starting such an endeavor.
Absolutely. So I think it's really just I think it's the process is obviously I think they've been the most fun part for me at least. Really kind of building the application, seeing how far you're able to take it. I think that's really been the most enjoyable part. And kind of although coding is really brutal and there's so many errors that possible errors that can happen. It's really fun just to kind of step by step build something. And I think the most difficult part of the process has really been a has really kind of been the same thing, really the process. I think both are the answer for that question. And also one of the most difficult things so far has really been understanding how because software development is a very expensive process. It's really understanding how we can be the most efficient because obviously we don't have millions of dollars just lying in the bank right now. So yeah, so it's kind of learning how to deal with those obstacles and learning how to bypass them.
Okay, I feel obliged to ask if you've been able to leverage any AI programming assistance in your project.
Absolutely, yeah. ChatGPT has not only been a great help in debugging our program, but also kind of helping us learn. I think that's really been the main thing and the main use of ChatGPT right now for us. Kind of like I said before, you kind of have to just throw yourself in business and software development. And ChatGPT, in my opinion, has expedited that process of learning quite significantly. And also we're currently using different APIs that use artificial intelligence and machine learning and all of that, obviously, because you can't really have a software application in 2024 without AI. So
Right.
I think that's been a really big thing.
Okay, excellent. I'm glad that you're enjoying the process as well, because that's really kind of the bigger lesson I think in life is things will go better. You'll learn more everything if you're enjoying the art of creating it and get into the details instead of just looking for the trophy or the product, right?
Yeah.
So what other sort of products are similar out there already in the space, and what were sort of the shortcomings that made you want to create your own? And what is sort of your bigger plan? Do you have sort of any guidance on an exit? Is this something you want to keep going yourself, or is it something you might want to license out or sell?
For sure. So some major competitors that have already kind of done some sort of sorting is, I think, the major companies, definitely Amazon, Google, who don't really have like an exact photo sorting dedicated algorithm, but they definitely have a lot of experience in like in because you need a lot of image data for this sort of thing. So they definitely have a lot of that using all the money that they have. And along with that, they have a few algorithms that are able to detect objects and different sort of things that developers can also use. There are a few photo sorting algorithms that not necessarily are only for photo sorting. There's also its main purpose, all of these different applications is for databases, like photo databases for photographers, but it really doesn't have that great of sorting capabilities. Maybe the most basic, such as landscape orientation, which even File Explorer in Windows has. So, what we really wanted to do was create a photo sorting specific application that we're hopefully going to be able to license out, as you said before, or sell. I think that's kind of an issue for later down the line when we really understand and really have a product and can kind of assess um the need it has in a real world environment. We've kind of understood the need in while surveying people, but actually understanding with our tangible product, how can we actually generate sales, something like that.
Right. Okay. Very cool. When you talk about photo sorting algorithms, you remind me about 20 years ago, a good friend of mine, he created some software for making photo mosaics, right? Where for people who may not know, this is where you take a photo and then you fill it with a bunch of little photos of everything else. Like, let's say, you're making an ad for KFC. You could just type in, show me pictures of people eating chicken, and it'll use all those to fill in the greater picture. So it looks like the normal picture, but if you zoom in, it's actually made of a collage of a zillion little pictures of all different things. And
Oh wow.
so you had to right, each image has to be analyzed by
Yeah,
pixel, its colors and tones and brightness and shapes and stuff to fit. And I imagine that's some of the same sort of detailed algorithm sort of
definitely. Yeah,
analysis of photos you have to do, which, considering how big photo sizes are nowadays, that sounds daunting.
no, definitely. Yeah. Image processing is very, very difficult in terms of like you need a lot of computational power, a lot of very powerful CPUs and GPUs, especially GPUs, which has been one of our major obstacles. But so far we've been able to make do. And obviously our computers are going to run slower than these really expensive and super fast computers, but um yeah, so I think it's yeah, image processing is definitely one of our major obstacles that with more investing and funding, we're going to be able to pass.
So talk to me a little bit about that. What are your plans for growth in the coming couple quarters? You said you wanted to get to market after a beta or something by the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah.
you need capital for that, and for what?
So exactly. So actually hosting our web application, it does need some you need some money to start off. There obviously are a few trials that allow us to kind of just test and kind of play around with it for us to actually get a workable application. But currently I think we have enough money to host just me and Tanman hosting ourselves for maybe around a year so far. So I think once we have it for a year, I think our main goal is really going to be able to get a consistent flow of cash and kind of being able to continue hosting and continue improving upon our web application.
Okay. And circling back to sort of like an exit plan, or what's sort of your 2-year, 5-year plan? Do you plan to still be part of this project then, or do you hope to license it off and or sell the proprietary algorithms by then?
I think we're looking to mainly sell or license it off because by the time in 4 or 5 years, we're not gonna have enough time in college to really put in the effort that's needed to run this sort of application. So right now that's what we're looking at, but that could definitely change depending on the success of Samsung.
Okay, excellent. So what's a typical day look like for you?
Absolutely, yeah. So along with some summer homework and other extracurriculars that I have to work on, such as scientific research, working on research papers and stuff like that. I maybe wake up at around 8 or 9 a.m., kind of just chill out, eat breakfast a little bit, and then I'll work on those things like I said earlier. And then usually we have our snap store meetings at around uh 5:30 to 7 around that time. And the flow of each meeting is very, very random. Like the depend on the amount of work that we get done. It can either we get so much work done, we made so much progress, or we literally get nothing done. We ran into an obstacle and we just have to kind of think about it and figure it out. But yeah, other than that, other than Snap Store and those few things, obviously I make it a priority to go to the gym every single day, and because that's really important to me, and that it's a great de-stressor and helps me think about all the things that I'm working on, and it helps me kind of process those things.
Excellent. Excellent. All great things. Can you share like a book or mentor or something that influenced your outlook on your health and your projects, your success, and anything like that? Any big influences?
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, so actually, I'm a Hindu, and the book of Hinduism is called the Bhagavad Gita, and I've been reading a book. Actually, I have it right here. It's called The End of Sorrow. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah. So that's just one of the beginning parts of the Bhagavad Gita, and it's really helped my outlook on life and kind of continuing to persevere and take care of myself and the people.
Excellent. Very impressive. Very impressive. So, I guess let's pivot now and talk a little bit about your charity.
Absolutely, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and how it started?
Yeah, so Seniors in Power Technology. So we started that off in I think last year, like October, November-ish. And we started off by first going to retirement home and kind of introducing what we want to do. And it took about actually, it was a very difficult process to really get like an actual schedule in retirement home where we can consistently go and volunteer. But it took about a month for that. And then following that, our current what we currently do is we have two forms of volunteering that we have. We have a door-to-door service where the management tells us who exactly needs help, and we go to their doors and we kind of figure out the problem and what exactly they need. And also we run technology workshops. So our most recent one, actually, we helped around like 10 or 11 senior citizens who gathered in a room, and we kind of taught them about cybersecurity and how important that is, and how to kind of manage your own devices and understand how to fight off threats. So that's kind of what we're looking at.
That's awesome. There's a huge demand for
Definitely.
senior tech help. So that's awesome.
Definitely.
I guess do those events have to be live when you give, or can you just share videos about them and it doesn't have the same effect and they can't ask questions, it's not as engaging? Do you have any ideas about how you can scale that, right? If you wanted to give those presentations on cybersecurity to a bunch of people, right, versus you having to drive around the valley and give that every Saturday or something for 3
Yeah.
hours of your day, it'd be right. Have you tried that? Is that effective?
I think online, like you really for senior citizens and especially the demographic, I think it really needs to be tangible. You really need to engage them, or else they're just not going to be focused, and they're kind of worry about other things. You kind of have to prove to them that their time is very valuable to them, and you really have to prove to them that what we're doing can actually help them. So I think really going in person really gives them that tangible experience, and it really helps them out a lot and to really understand how to work their own devices and
Do you have them? Is it so? Is it a
yeah,
true workshop where they're playing with their toys at the same time, right? They have
exactly,
their
yeah,
phone
yeah,
out. Okay,
exactly.
excellent, excellent. Okay, so you're earlier on in your journey here, but you're precocious. So I'll keep asking a lot of the same questions I like to ask my regular guests. Maintaining success and financial stability requires strategy. I was wondering how you plan for your financial future and your growth.
So through the research I've done about that so far, I think investing in a Roth IRA. I've done a lot of research about that, and that's really important to kind of sustain and generate like some sort of generational wealth, which is really, really important. Although I don't know much about finance, even though my dad is he was a finance major and really kind of tries to hammer it through my head. But
Do you
yeah, I feel
listen?
like just excuse me.
Do you listen when your father's trying to hammer it in?
Oh,
Some of
not
it?
really. I try not to, but he tries to force me to listen. But yeah, I think it's still really important to have some sort of fallback plan if something doesn't work out. Like always have a plan A, B, or C. So I think uh definitely investing and having not having all your funds in the same place is really important.
Yes, diversification is a good lesson. I'm glad you got that one. All right. So yeah, and if you have earned income, yeah, you can put 6 to 7K in your Roth each year, and that can all grow tax free. So you got a great start if you're starting already. That's
Mhm.
something I've done with my kids as well. So that's awesome. All right. So looking forward, what's next for you? What's do you mentioned going to college? What are sort of
Mhm.
your goals and plans for the next few years?
So right now it's just working on my college applications, which have really gone into full swing. Which it's a total grind with college application. There's so many different essays you have to write, and also at the same time to get into a selected school, which I'm looking at like an Ivy League, a Duke, like a Berkeley type of school. You have to have a really unique essay topic, which is the most
Right.
important thing. So I think right now it's just kind of generating that idea and giving myself the best shot to be successful. Obviously, getting into a good college is the best way to be successful later on in life, which is what I'm trying to do. So, in the next few years, obviously, also building Snapstore and seniors in power and technology, continuing to work on those two things, even after, hopefully, after I'm graduating with high school, because not only generating or creating an impactful connection with my community, I feel like that's really important, and especially with the elderly population. Um, I think that's really, really important to me and kind of for myself as well, generating a sort of empathy for people and kind of helping each other's out, helping other people out is very, very fulfilling to me. And along with Snapstore, continuing to work on my business and what I first started. And I'm really excited to see how it's going to turn out in a few years. And hopefully, I'm hoping for the better.
Excellent. Sounds like a lot of great stuff. You're on an amazing trajectory. I love it. So, real quick, what's sort of your focus? Which schools are you applying to and why? What's your focus? You right? That should dictate which schools you're looking at.
Yeah, for sure. So one of my dream schools is UPenn. They have a program called the Jerome Fisher Management and Technology Program, which is where I'm really looking at. What it has is a management degree, so in business, and a technology degree. So I'm looking to either do computational biology or just computer science. Those two things are what I'm really looking at. I'm also looking to double major in a few schools. Like Berkeley has a really good program. I forget its name, but it's also very, very good in business, computer science, and computational biology. So all those two things. And other than that, I'm also looking to apply to Duke, which I said earlier. Um, Georgia Tech, which is I'm really excited to apply to that as well, and all the other IBs. So, excluding Columbia and Dartmouth, I'm also gonna apply to Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and those really highly selected schools. So, I'm hoping to cross my fingers. And MIT is another one that I'm really, really. That would be awesome if I can get into MIT. That's like my number one school other than UPenn.
Excellent. Very cool. A lot of great schools there. A lot of great options. What's one piece of advice you'd like to give someone aiming to achieve similar success?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's just go for it. Just do it. No matter what doubts you have, I think just going for it's the best way to learn and the best way to grow as a human being.
Awesome. Good advice. Good enough for Nike too, right? Just do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for our listeners who may want to learn more about your products or your charity or you reach out and connect, where can they find you?
You can find me at my email, which is skale072007 at gmail.com. Or you can send me a message at LinkedIn, which is Shubham Kale, SHUBHAMKALE, on LinkedIn. And I live in Phoenix, Arizona, so you can find me through that.
Excellent. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Shubham Kale. Is that it?
Yeah, call it.
All right. Thank you for joining me today. We appreciate you sharing your story, right? Your insights and success and impact in Phoenix. Thank you very much.
Inspired by our guests? Visit phoenixprosperitypodcast.com/guest and join us on the show and share your success story with Tim. The spotlight awaits.